Rain hammered against the Cole mansion's glass roof as headlights swept across the gate. A black SUV rolled into the compound and stopped in front of the marble steps. The driver jumped out, opened the rear door, and Chief Olamide Cole stepped into the storm with his phone pressed to his ear. "Move the board meeting to tomorrow morning," he said. "I just got back from Abuja. I need a shower and silence." He ended the call and walked inside. Lightning flashed behind him, illuminating the spotless foyer, and Chioma, the maid, kneeling to wipe the floor before he left muddy prints. She looked up, startled. The mop clattered, water splashing at his shoes. Olamide raised a brow. "Careful." Chioma bowed quickly, eyes down. She wanted to apologize, but swallowed the words. Her contract's first line echoed in her mind. Staff must not speak to the employers unless spoken to. She murmured nothing and stepped aside. From the staircase, Vanessa Cole's heels clicked like a countdown. "You're back early," she said, descending in a silk robe. "How was Abuja?" "Stressful," Olamide replied, "but productive." He brushed past her and signaled to the butler. "James, tell the cook I need something light. Pepper soup, maybe?" Vanessa's lips curved faintly. "You work too much, Olamide." He gave her a tired smile that didn't reach his eyes. "That's what keeps this house standing." As he disappeared upstairs, Vanessa's gaze shifted to Chioma, who was still drying the floor. "Next time, don't block the door when my husband walks in," she said sharply. Chioma nodded once. "Yes, madam." Her lips moved, but no sound came. Vanessa eyed her for a second longer, then turned away, the scent of expensive perfume trailing behind. Later that night, the mansion settled into silence. The rain eased into drizzle. Chioma moved from room to room, collecting empty glasses and plates. She liked the stillness. It was the only time she felt safe. She paused by the study. The door was slightly open, light spilling across the hallway. Voices murmured inside. Vanessa's low and smooth, and another man's rougher, impatient. Chioma froze. She recognized that second voice. Mr. Tunde Adeyemi, the man who visited often on business, the man Chief Olamide trusted. She leaned closer, careful not to make the floor creak. "Are you sure he won't suspect?" Tunde asked. Vanessa laughed softly. "He never suspects anything. He believes I love him." "And after tonight?" "After tonight," she said, "we'll both be free." Chioma's stomach tightened. She wanted to run, but her legs refused to move. Through the crack, she saw Vanessa pour something from a small vial into a decanter of wine on the table. "Tomorrow night's dinner," Vanessa whispered. "He'll toast the merger. He'll never wake up." Tunde caught her hand, grinning. "You're brilliant." Chioma's breath caught. She stepped back, heart pounding. Her mind screamed, "Say something!" But the warning on her employment letter flashed again. Termination without pay, deportation, blacklisting. Her cousin's family depended on her small salary. She pressed a hand to her chest, trying to breathe quietly as Vanessa and Tunde's laughter faded. When they finally left the study, Chioma slipped inside. The decanter glowed amber under the lamp. She stared at it, then at the family photo on the desk, Chief Olamide with Vanessa, smiling like the world was perfect. Tears stung her eyes. What do I do? She couldn't talk to him. She couldn't talk to anyone. But she could act. She found a sticky note on the desk, scribbled quickly with shaking hands. "Please don't drink this wine." Then she folded the note and tucked it under his laptop where he always sat. Footsteps echoed from the hallway. Chioma ducked behind the curtain, heart racing. Vanessa stepped in again, her phone at her ear. "Yes, I left it there," Vanessa whispered. "Stop worrying, Tunde. He'll drink it, then it's done." She turned off the light and left. Chioma exhaled slowly in the dark, clutching her apron. The thunder outside masked her sob. She wanted to scream. Morning came, bright and cloudless. Chief Olamide ate breakfast while scanning emails on his tablet. Vanessa sat opposite him, scrolling through her phone. Chioma served silently. "Where's Tunde?" Olamide asked. "He's on his way," Vanessa said smoothly. "We're finalizing the signing dinner tonight." Olamide nodded. "Good. Once it's done, I can finally rest." Chioma set down the juice and retreated to the kitchen. She watched through the glass door as they laughed together. Her hands trembled. Tonight, that was when it would happen. She thought of calling the police, but stopped halfway through dialing. Who would believe a maid breaking a silence clause? They'd say she was looking for attention. She deleted the number and paced the pantry instead. By evening, the mansion glittered. The dining table shone under crystal lights. Chefs moved like clockwork. Chioma carried the polished decanter from the bar to the table, her heart hammering. The same one from last night. The poison sat waiting, invisible. Chief Olamide entered in a dark suit, Vanessa on his arm. Tunde followed, smiling too widely. "My brother," he said, embracing Olamide. "Tonight we celebrate success." Olamide laughed. "Yes, we do. Chioma, pour the wine." Her fingers shook as she filled the glasses. Vanessa's eyes lingered on her a moment too long. Chioma bowed quickly and stepped back. They raised their glasses. Chioma's pulse roared in her ears. Olamide's hand lifted the glass to his lips. At the last second, Chioma stumbled forward and accidentally knocked the decanter over. The liquid splashed across the tablecloth. The glass shattered on the floor. Everyone froze. Vanessa shot to her feet. "What is wrong with you?" Chioma caught herself. The rule. She bowed her head in silence. "You clumsy girl," Vanessa snapped. "Get out! Now!" Olamide frowned. "Vanessa, calm down." "She ruined the dinner." Vanessa turned to him, voice trembling with fake outrage. "You defend her? Look what she did." Tunde added smoothly. "Chief, accidents happen, but we can't dine like this. Maybe reschedule?" Olamide sighed, rubbing his temples. "Fine, everyone go. I've lost my appetite." Chioma backed away, tears burning her eyes. She wanted to scream the truth, but bit her lip until it bled. She fled to the servants' quarters. Heartbreaking. Hours later, the mansion slept. Chioma sat on her narrow bed, staring at the wall. She'd saved him for now, but he still didn't know. She reached for her small suitcase. Maybe it was time to leave before they fired her officially. A soft knock startled her. The butler, James, whispered through the door. "Chioma, Madam says you should pack your things. You're leaving tomorrow." Her chest tightened. "Thank you," she whispered after he left, even though no one could hear. She turned off the light and lay awake till dawn. Chief Olamide sat alone in his study the next morning. He scrolled through emails, exhausted. Something yellow caught his eye, a folded note under his laptop. He opened it. The handwriting was small but urgent. "Please don't drink this wine." He stared at it, confused. Who wrote this? He looked around the room, remembering the spilled decanter, Chioma's pale face, the tremble in her hands. A chill ran through him. He called for James. "Where's that maid, Chioma?" "She's packing to leave, sir." "Tell her to wait." Olamide rose, went to the dining room, and found the decanter shards still in the bin. He lifted a fragment, sniffed it, frowned. A faint, bitter smell. His phone buzzed. Vanessa. "Darling!" "I'm out getting flowers for tonight's meeting." He stared at the note again, then said quietly, "Where exactly are you?" "At the florist near Lekki." "Good," he murmured. "Stay there." He ended the call and went straight to the lab he kept for his winery business. He poured a few drops of the remaining wine into a vial and ran a quick chemical test. When the strip turned black, his blood ran cold. He sank into a chair. Poison. Real poison. He remembered the way Chioma's hand shook, the panic in her eyes, the spilled wine. She'd saved him. Chioma stood by the servants' gate with her small bag when a black car stopped beside her. Olamide stepped out. The guards straightened instantly. "Sir," she began, forgetting herself. He raised a hand. "Don't worry, you can talk." She blinked, speechless. "I found your note," he said. "You tried to warn me." Tears welled in her eyes. Madam said. She said if I spoke to you, they'd send me away." "You're already leaving?" he said softly. "So tell me everything." Her voice broke. "Sir, last night she and Mr. Tunde, they put something in your wine. I saw them. I swear I saw them." Olamide's jaw clenched. "And you risked your job to stop me from drinking it," she nodded. He looked at her for a long moment, then said, "Get in the car." They drove back in silence. Chioma wiped her tears quietly. Olamide's face was unreadable. When they entered the mansion, Vanessa stood at the door, surprise flashing across her face. "You're back early. I thought you had a meeting." "I cancelled it," Olamide said evenly. "We need to talk." Her eyes darted to Chioma. "Why is she here?" "Because," he said, pulling the folded note from his pocket, "she saved my life." Vanessa's smile faltered. "What are you talking about?" Olamide placed the note on the table between them. "You and Tunde tried to kill me," the colour drained from her face. "That's ridiculous." "I tested the wine," he cut in. "Do you want me to call the police now or after you tell me the truth?" Vanessa's eyes flicked toward the staircase, calculating. "You're paranoid," she whispered. "I would never." Enough. His voice cracked through the air like thunder. I gave you everything, Vanessa. Tears filled her eyes instantly. I did it for us, she said suddenly. You don't see me anymore, Maid. You're married to your work. He stared at her, disgusted. So you wanted to end me? She dropped to her knees. Please, let's fix this. James, Olamide called. Call the police. Vanessa's scream echoed as 2 guards approached. Chioma stood frozen near the door, trembling. Olamide turned to her. You're safe now. But before the guards could reach Vanessa, a loud crash split the air, glass shattering from the terrace. Vanessa had bolted, leaping through the open door into the night. Olamide ran after her. Chioma followed, heart pounding. Lightning lit the garden. Vanessa stumbled across the wet grass, barefoot, hair wild. Stay away, she screamed. Vanessa, stop, Olamide shouted. You'll hurt yourself. She slipped, fell hard and didn't move. Rain began again, cold and relentless. Olamide knelt beside her, checking her pulse. She was breathing faintly. Relief and sorrow collided in his chest. He turned to Chioma. Call an ambulance. She hesitated, unsure which phone to use. Here, he said, handing her his. Talk. Her fingers shook as she dialed emergency services. As the sirens wailed in the distance, she looked at him and whispered, I'm sorry. He shook his head. You saved me, Chioma. Don't ever apologize for that. Chioma stood frozen behind the half-open door, her heart pounding as Vanessa's voice filled the dim bedroom. I told you, Tunde, he's leaving for Abuja tomorrow. Once he's gone, we move the documents and transfer everything. I'm tired of living under his shadow. Tunde's laughter was low and careless. You really think he won't find out? He won't, Vanessa said sharply, because the maid doesn't talk. Remember? Chioma's breath caught. Her fingers tightened around the mop handle until it trembled. Tunde's hand brushed Vanessa's arm. You're bold, Vanessa. I'm desperate, she whispered. I want a life where I can breathe. Their lips met, slow and dangerous. Chioma stepped back too quickly. The mop bucket hit the door. Both heads turned. Who's there? Vanessa hissed. Chioma's throat went dry. She pushed the bucket forward, pretending to clean. Her head remained bowed. Oh, it's just her, Vanessa muttered. What? The mute maid. Tunde chuckled. Pretty thing, though. You're sure she can't talk? Vanessa's eyes hardened. Even if she could, she won't. Her contract says one word and she's done. She needs the money too badly to risk it. Chioma left silently, but her mind burned. The next day, Chief Olamide would fly to Abuja. If she stayed quiet, everything he owned might vanish. But if she spoke, she would lose her job and maybe her life. Night came heavy and hot. Thunder rolled far away. Chioma sat on her narrow bed in the servant quarters, tears sliding down her cheeks. She whispered to herself, God, what should I do? At dawn, she decided. When Chief Olamide stepped out of his room in a crisp white igbabrata, Chioma hurried forward, holding a tray of coffee. Her hands shook. Good morning, sir, she said softly. He stopped, surprised. You talked. Chioma's knees hit the floor. Please, sir, forgive me. I have to tell you something. It's about Madam. Olamide frowned. What about her? Chioma's lips trembled. She plans to take your documents and sell the company shares. She and Mr. Tunde. The door behind them creaked. Vanessa stood there, robe loose, eyes blazing. What did you just say? Chioma's voice broke. Madam, Vanessa's slap cracked through the hallway. You dare accuse me? Olamide's expression shifted, hurt, disbelief, then suspicion. Vanessa, enough! What's going on? Nothing, she snapped. This girl is lying. You told her not to talk. Now see what happens when you let these village girls open their mouths. Chioma clutched her cheek, tears in her eyes. Sir, I'm not lying. Olamide turned to his wife. Where are the documents I signed yesterday? Vanessa faltered. In your office. Let's go, he said. They entered the office. The drawers were open. The safe was slightly ajar. The envelope with company papers was gone. Olamide's jaw tightened. Vanessa. Before she could answer, a phone buzzed on the desk, Tunde's name flashing across the screen. Olamide picked it up. Tunde. His voice was ice. Bring back my files. There was silence on the line, then a click. He turned slowly to his wife. So it's true. Vanessa stepped back. Olamide, please. I didn't mean... He slammed his hand against the desk. Enough, Chioma flinched. Vanessa started crying. I just wanted freedom. You control everything. Where I go, who I see. You never asked what I wanted. Olamide's face softened for a second, then hardened again. You could have left, but you chose betrayal. Police sirens wailed outside. Olamide looked at Chioma. You saved me. Chioma lowered her gaze. I broke the rules, sir. He shook his head. Sometimes rules are meant to be broken. When the officers took Vanessa away, she screamed at Chioma, "You'll regret this. You think he'll keep you? You're just a maid." Chioma stood quietly. Her heart ached, not for victory, but for the ruins left behind. Later that evening, the mansion was silent. Rain drummed on the glass roof. Olamide found Chioma in the kitchen, folding her uniform. "You're leaving?" he asked. "Yes, sir. I've already broken my contract. Madam was right. I shouldn't be here." He hesitated. "Where will you go?" She smiled faintly. "Back home. Maybe start a small food business. I'll be fine." He stepped closer. "You're not going anywhere tonight. Rest. Tomorrow we'll talk." She nodded, unsure. 2 weeks later, the story was everywhere. Lagos billionaire betrayed by wife, saved by maid. Reporters camped at the gate. Offers poured in. Olamide ignored them all. He found Chioma in the garden, watering the flowers. "You could work anywhere now," he said. "Why stay?" She looked at him. "Because I promised to finish my job properly," he smiled. "Then let's make a new promise. No more silence." She laughed softly. "Yes, sir." Time passed. The mansion healed, slowly. The emptiness Vanessa left became room for peace. One morning, Olamide stood by the balcony watching the sunrise. Chioma brought him tea. "Do you ever regret it?" he asked. "Talking?" He nodded. She smiled. "Never." He returned the smile. "Then neither do I." As she turned to leave, he said quietly, "Chioma." She stopped. "Thank you." Her eyes met his, warm, and "You're welcome, sir." The light caught her face just then, calm, strong, alive. Outside, the city roared on, but inside the coal mansion there was only quiet, the kind that spoke louder than words. And somewhere between the silence and the storm, a new story began. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment on what you do in Chioma's place, and subscribe for more emotional tales every week.